What is up? Hey, Instagram. It is Tyler. It's been so long. I haven't seen you guys in quite some time. So it's good to be back as always. Give me just a second to invite my co host into the room today, and we're going to get things started. All right, let's get in here. All right, there we go. Hey, everybody's checking in. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey,
Hey, I need to adjust my frame a little bit. But what is up? How are you?
good afternoon. How are you? Things are good over here on this end. As you know, Michigan got a little snow scare, a little frost this morning out there. What'd you think about that?
It's been cold. It's been chilly. It's been chilly. It's good to see you. First of all, my name is Tyler. For those of you that don't know, you guys are so used to me doing our Tide Take today on Thursdays at 1 p.m. But, things change, friendships die out, and new beginnings are on the horizon. So joining me today is one of my very good friends, as well as somebody who knows everything when it comes to entertainment, music, lifestyle, everything that we discuss here on the podcast. This is Elisha. So, Elisha, thank you so much for joining me
Hi,
today.
everyone. It's a pleasure. Tyler and I met previously this year. Actually, we were in a race to become Detroit's next co-host for 105.1 The Bounce. And it was quite a joyride, actually. And neither of us made it all the way through, but we were able to still come out as really good friends, and I'm very grateful for that. Networking with Tyler has been absolutely great. He's a very resourceful person. I absolutely adore him and his hair. I'm so jealous. Gotta
Yes,
love those curls.
yes. Can I just, yeah, let me tell you. So, it's an inside joke between me and my boo thing. But let me tell you, we were at a bar one night and we're sitting out in the car, after the bar closed, and we're just talking in the car. And I kid you not, some drunk girl came up and she was like, my window was cracked. And I'm sitting in the passenger seat. She comes up and she literally sticks her hands through the window and is like trying to touch my curls.
Oh my God.
My guy who's gonna watch this later, he doesn't play. So he like rolled up the window and was like, "Why the hell is this bitch trying to touch your curls?"
Right.
And then somebody else, I always get asked the question, so I appreciate the comment. I'm always asked the question, what products do I use? Are they real? Another
Right.
person came up to me and they were like, I get my hair permed. They were like, I have to pay for my curls, and I'm like, my curls are real.
Okay.
Um,
Yes. Okay.
but
That part.
yes, real curls, very little product. But yeah, so Alicia and I, like Alicia said, we met, doing a contest. Both of us unfortunately didn't make it to be the next morning show co-host, but I can say that I was grateful for the opportunity. And without that contest, even when, because Alicia, you made it to like the second round.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so when you called me and was like, Tyler, let's go down to the radio station, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't win, but like I loved your submission video, and it's honestly that radio station's loss, to say the
Of
least.
course. Of
Um,
course.
and I'll leave it at that. But
Yeah, well, we leave it at that. We don't want to bring up any ill feelings, in case anybody from the station is watching, because I think they're all like friends and following us. So we'll just leave
absolutely.
it at
So we
that.
may have not became the next morning show co-host, but we have in the works. Actually, I'm not gonna announce it just yet, but there's a we're in talks with a station here in Metro Detroit, and you may be hearing Alicia and I very soon on multiple different platforms, beginning in the new year. So I'm
Yes,
excited for that opportunity.
the race to be the next co-host for 105.1 definitely fueled a fire within both of us that I think was needed. I definitely think it was necessary to go through that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And without the contest, who knows if we would ever even came across each other's paths. So
Exactly.
I'm grateful for that. Yes, chiming in real quick. Hersha Marie 83 checking in. Sip and See, your gay best friend, Jeremiah, Vani. There's already so many people in the chat. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get started with a little bit of local topics. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you guys know, for Detroit residents, we just Tuesday was elections for many local cities throughout Metro Detroit, and Detroit is basically shaking it up. They've got a ton of different new city council members, police commissioner, just everybody is changing. There's different candidates, and now shout outs really quickly to Mayor Mike Duggan, who won his third term. He was
Wow.
reelected as mayor of Detroit, which to me was very surprising.
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
because being somebody that doesn't live in the city of Detroit and driving through the neighborhoods, I don't know. There's so much work that needs to be done, and you see all these billboards plastered up outside of the freeways, talking about Mike Duggan tore this many houses down, or got rid of this amount of blight. But surprisingly enough, he also won his third election, so this is his third term. Shout outs to one of my friends, and we're gonna have her on the show a little later, hopefully within this month or next month. Gabriela Santiago Romero. She won for city council in her district in the city of Detroit.
Nice.
And then there's been just like a lot of controversy with current city council members. There's a federal probe investigation currently happening. Council members' houses and offices are being raided. So it's for me, it's exciting to see. I was like, damn, I wish I was a resident of Detroit because I know all about the proposals, the
Right.
candidates. So shout outs to those people that won, as well as Mary Waters, Letitia Johnson, just to name a couple people. I thought it was very interesting. I read an article from the Detroit News. Karen Dumas, who she does a co-host, she does her own little podcast with Charlie LaDuff. She was also a former top aide to both Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick and Mayor Dave Bing.
Wow.
She told the Detroit News, she said, quote, certainly it brings new energy, new vision, and hopefully new challenges to the status quo. There will definitely be a learning curve. What we don't know is the allegiances of the people who were just newly elected. So I mean, I think she brings a valid point. Like, we have these new people in power in office, but who's really affiliated with them? Who backed them campaign wise? I think
Exactly.
the city. I'm tired of seeing progression within just downtown, Campus Martius, Midtown. I want to see that same type of energy in the neighborhoods. Let's clean up the
For
neighborhoods.
sure.
Let's get adequate lighting and street lights and
Oh yeah,
removal
that
of
would make a
bright.
big difference.
So what's your take on the recent election, and what are your hopes for the future of the city of Detroit?
Well, as you know, I'm not a native Detroiter. I am more like a tourist. I'm not from Detroit, so just over the last couple of years, it seems like things have been trying to take a turn. Things are trying to change for the better, I do believe. We're at a standstill right now, I think, with a lot of issues in Detroit, especially with homelessness and poverty issues, as far as that. And the pandemic hasn't really made it much easier on those struggling in the inner city parts of west and east sides of Detroit. I feel like violence is kind of sometimes it's at a high, sometimes it's at a low. I really feel like it fluctuates. It's amazing to me that after all of these years, you know that James Craig, the Detroit County, the police chief, he has been actually not certified to be what he was doing. He wasn't. He did not pass his MCOLS testing in order to be a police chief officer, and it's been like that since 2013. So my question is, who is doing the background screenings? Who is keeping up with these officers to make sure that they're upholding their rights and their duties to serve and protect our communities? Because if they can't even be, properly on the task force, then what can they do for us as a community? What can they do to better us if they can't even better their own unit out there? And we're talking about a police chief. This isn't just an officer. This isn't just, not to mention the problems that they do have with race within the police department and the biased ways that they treat certain criminals that aren't really offensive criminals. I remember about 2 years ago in 2019, it was in the winter time, and a police officer actually got fired from the force because he recorded a young lady after he impounded her car, and she had to walk. You remember when they had the freeze, the Arctic blast that was going on? It was really, really cold outside, and people were getting hypothermic. Medical conditions happening to them from being outside in very short periods of time. He impounded the lady's car and made her walk home and recorded her, and the caption it said, "This is what Black girl magic looks like." So how can we build our communities as a whole if we don't have the city of Detroit Police Department on our side? It
Absolutely.
really starts with the people that are supposed to serve and protect us.
Absolutely, and even to piggyback on that briefly, with the Black Lives Matter movement and the protests that happened in the city of Detroit, being somebody that was down there, just before all hell broke out, in the way that the police were treating these protesters, and then even like I just read a story that one of the officers, wasn't even charged. No, wait a second. Okay, are we still there?
Sorry.
Okay, no, yeah. So
I'm here. Sorry.
even back to like the protesters, and the way James Craig handled that situation, and that movement. And now he wants to run for governor. He's running for governor.
No thanks.
I'm a pass on that. Even if I was a Detroit resident.
Yeah,
um,
I agree. I agree with you. I think James Craig owes the city of Detroit a huge apology for his misrepresentation of the police department.
Absolutely. So aside from the city council candidates that won this recent election this week, some other proposals included a proposal to decriminalize some of the hallucinogenic drugs, such as mushrooms. It's been a lot of talk about that, as
That's
well as
exciting.
I want to know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on that proposal? And
Well, honestly, I don't have much knowledge on mushrooms. I've never indulged. I've never taken them, so it would be kind of hard for me to weigh in. I feel like if it's something that is controlled and given in an appropriate dosage, maybe it is beneficial for some people. But at this time, I just don't have enough information to really, speak on it because I wouldn't want to offend those that do have the adequate knowledge. We should get
absolutely,
somebody to do.
yes.
We should invite somebody that is in that community to like shed some light on what's going on with that.
Absolutely, because I totally agree with you, Alicia. I would be half-assing an opinion if I was to give you any sort of opinion on that specific proposal. But I would love to have, if there's anybody out there that is watching this that has been a user of mushrooms or hallucinogenic drugs, and is comfortable talking, or even if you want to have like a private conversation with you and I, just so that we can increase our knowledge and intellect on the topic. Our doors are always open. You guys can send us a DM either on my Instagram, Alicia's Instagram. One of the other proposals that actually did not get approved was a proposal to increase citizen control over government spending, which is
Wow.
shocking. I don't know if that's because of maybe a lower voter turnout or what have you, but I think that as a resident of any community, I feel that it's only appropriate and right if you have the option to vote on where resources and finances and spending is being dispersed to.
I wonder if that has anything to do with the last, last time Mayor Mike Duggins tried to take out a $2 million loan to do the excavations in this within the city. It was denied. So I wonder if it has anything to do with that. Because the last time he took out a loan, they were trying to say that the amount of money he took out wasn't adding up to the amount of, or I should say, the lack of performance that was being done within the city and tearing down the abandoned houses. So the next time that he applied for a grant, he was actually denied. And I wonder if it has anything to do with that and the fact that he just won being the mayor for the third year in a row.
It's always a very controversial topic when it comes to
Oh,
the
of course.
elections in the city of Detroit, for sure. Another one of the other proposals that were on the ballot for the city of Detroit included the idea to form a committee to consider reparations for residents. So basically, this proposal, in short, recommends, it says that the group will recommend housing and economic development programs that address historical discrimination against the Black community. So I don't identify within this community per se, but I'm glad that the works of Mary Sheffield, as well as so many other activists in the community, this proposal did pass, which is a step in the right direction as far as reparations are concerned, especially for people within the Black community. So, what's your thoughts on this proposal, if you have any?
I agree, and I feel wholeheartedly as if I agree with the proposal as long as the money gets spent where it needs to be spent, where it's most important. I don't feel like starting to throw up a bunch of statues over the city is what this city needs. I think that we need more rec centers for our young Black youth within the community. I think that that would help. Re-entry programs for the homeless and lower poverty folks that live around city that need help getting their identification cards, social security cards, birth certificates, things like that. I think that's what this community needs, and I think that would help a whole lot if they aim that funding.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Excuse me, if they aim that funding towards people that actually need the money and not trying to put this money towards statues that is going to cause more controversy and more uproar within the citizens. You know, it's just, I feel like when they try to make those monuments and those landmarks, it's really causing problems within, you know, different class wise of communities to clash.
Absolutely. So I think it's an initial, it's a positive outlook, but I think, like you said, it's so much more deeper than throwing up some statues of key predominant Black figures that have made a difference in this world. I think it's so much deeper than that. Um, and you know, the proposal was passed. However, you know, there's no further description of what this proposal actually entails,
Of
so to
course.
speak. So you know, there's no layout, there's no map of what's next, beyond the fact that this group has been approved to come together, which is a start.
It is a start. I could agree with that wholeheartedly. It's definitely a start in the right direction. We just got to make sure that the funding and the resources get put in the right hands.
Absolutely. So, this next topic that Alicia actually brought to our agenda, as you guys recently know, the CDC and Director Rochelle Walensky, they've announced earlier this week that it is a go for children being vaccinated. Alicia and I have very strong opinions on this, so I'm gonna sip my cute little margarita because it's Friday, and I'm gonna let Alicia dive into this next topic when it comes to COVID-19 and children being vaccinated.
I'm loving the lime in the margarita glass. That looks so refreshing. I'm quite jealous, to be honest. I'm really jealous. My cup is not runneth over here.
I got one on the way.
So
I'll send you one over.
stat pronto. So nearly 3,000 children have been put in clinical trials as far as Pfizer's new vaccine that's been approved for children ages 5 to 11. We don't know what this means at this time for DPS schools, as most students at DPS school are having to test once a week for COVID-19. Now that the vaccine is available, we do not know if it is going to end up being a mandate or a volunteer basis. So we're trying to wait to hear and see how that goes. Pfizer at this time is the only brand, as the only company right now that has an efficient vaccine for children ages 5 through 11. We don't really know what this means for the community. We haven't heard much on any defects or complications with this vaccine. We are seeing that children ages 6 months to 4 years old will have a vaccine created for them and available to use by 2022. However, I do not agree with this whatsoever. I really don't. There's so many children out here that have different reactions and responses to medication. I just don't think that it's been nearly, and 3,000 children. That's not even enough for like one state, let alone an entire country. These children have different medical complications that a vaccine could it could be fatal. I feel like that it has just not been tested enough. It just has not been long enough to see the full results. And I would hate for this to be mandated like it's mandated and right now in New York for all federal workers to be vaccinated, at least have their first vaccine. Otherwise, they're asked to leave their job until they are vaccinated with at least the first shot. I would hope not to see anything like that here in Michigan, honestly, because I think we're going to be even more short staffed than what we already are, especially in schools and in hospitals. So we're hoping that that doesn't happen. We're not quite sure what Biden is up to at this time, but we're just trying to keep a positive outlook, honestly.
Absolutely. And to piggyback on what you had just stated, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky, she said, together with science leading the change, we have taken another important step forward in our nation's fight against the virus that causes COVID-19. As a mom, I encourage parents with any questions to talk to their pediatrician, school nurse, or local pharmacist to learn more about the vaccine and the importance of getting their children vaccinated. Elisha, you're no stranger to this. You're a mother yourself. Um, yeah, I, I don't
I
know.
just
I
don't
don't
think that
know.
there's been enough time. I am a mom and I have multiple children. I have 5 children, and I have a child. My oldest child has asthma. She set off easily. What could something like the COVID-19 vaccine do that might compromise her condition even further? That's something that I don't think that I'm ready to take a chance with at this time, honestly. I really do. I don't judge any parent that does want to get their child vaccinated, but as the trend and the curve progresses, and we're seeing things roll out, 9,000 cases have already been reported since November 1st of COVID-19. And I'm pretty sure that Detroit, I think, is about 60% vaccinated citywide. And to me, that just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense that there's nearly 10,000 people that are infected in the hospitals at this time at the beginning of November. While there's so many in the city that has been vaccinated. So we're really juggling and taking our chances with a vaccine that is still, even with the vaccine, people are still getting sick. People are still being hospitalized. People are still passing away. They're still needing a ventilator. So my thing is, where do we cross the line?
Abs-
Why are we having people walk out of their jobs and being forced and basically into poverty and into critical conditions? Winter's coming up. Why would we do this to our first liners? They were first line heroes last year. And now we're asking them to leave their jobs if they don't get a vaccine. They've been in the front face of COVID-19 since the very beginning, having to strip their clothes off before they even walk in the door so that they, try not to spread the infection to their family members. We're asking them to leave their jobs if they don't become vaccinated. Don't we think that being exposed to the vaccine long enough, like face to face, wouldn't that almost immune somebody
yeah, I mean,
almost more effectively than taking the vaccine?
I think it really comes down to comfortability, to say the least. My guy and I, we took the Q line downtown, and we're hanging out this past weekend. And it just, to me, it's amazing, regardless of if you're vaccinated or not. Like, if you see me out in public, chances are you'll see me with my mask on. My
For
mask
sure.
is currently in my pocket.
For
Um,
sure.
and I just think, like, seeing so many people coughing and sneezing and just being so careless, like, we're still in a pandemic. And I
Exactly.
think a lot of people are like, oh well, most everybody's vaccinated, like, but vaccination does not equal, you're in this, yeah, you're still at risk. Yes, the
Exactly.
risk may be less likely or less severe, um but just seeing people out here, partying it up, carefree, no masks on, you're gonna see me wearing a mask for a while. um my
I agree.
mask my mask isn't going anywhere. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how, this virus, as well as the different strands, where we go next from here. But
Exactly.
as I couldn't imagine what it's like as a parent. So props to you. It's your main job to make sure that your kids are healthy and safe. Um, and that decision, it varies based on, individual circumstances. Um, I couldn't imagine. On a more positive note, switching things up a little bit, I learned something that I did not know this week. So I didn't know that there was a tax, like a specific tax on feminine products. Did you?
I did not. That's ridiculous.
So, shout outs to Big Gretch, Governor Whitmer here in the state of Michigan. She signed a bill yesterday, which is going to exempt the 6% sales tax on feminine hygiene products. Governor Whitmer said, after years of trying to repeal this tax, I am proud that we are bringing people together to put Michiganders first and drive down the costs of these essential products. Um, my thoughts on this, I feel that everybody should be, everybody shouldn't have to go through that burden. if these are products that we need or that women need specifically, I think that, you know, these things should be available. It shouldn't be a financial burden. And I think that it's great that this tax has been banned. And I think it's all around, it's just positive.
Yeah, I can wholeheartedly agree. You know, a menstrual cycle is not anything that any of us women ask for. We do not want the menstrual cycle. But I think it's just ridiculous that things like birth control are offered free via Medicaid or insurance. It's ridiculous that there is not enough women that have resources to things like feminine products, and to put a tax on something that is actually required. You know, that's required for us. There's not like a button or a special pill that we can take to just, okay, I can't do this month. I don't have enough money for a feminine product. That's ridiculous. You have women, and I don't mean to be disgusting or anything, but it's just a real deal spill. You have girls that are as young as 9 years old that are starting their cycle. How would that look if they're just out and about, you know, at school? They don't have money, they don't have access, they can't leave to go, they can't leave the school to go to the store to, you know, go get a feminine product. What are they supposed to do when we don't have stockpiles. We don't have stockpiles ready to hand out to girls in schools that may need these during, you know, trying times in their lives when things are changing and they're unsure and they're scared. And, you know, that's just a scary thing to be in a situation where you don't have a product and then to know that there's an added tax. Like, I just feel like it's already hard enough being a woman. Why would we go through so many things to make it even harder to obtain these products? That is something that we need. This is something that we need. You know, the US does a lot of funding to other countries, third world countries, where they give packages to third world countries, and they'll have like feminine products and wipes and stuff like that. So why don't we support our own children and our own women and girls like that in this country? I just think that people are scared to talk about it. People are scared to accept the real, and it's just easier for them to brush it under the rug. That's probably why so many people didn't know about the tax in the beginning, because it's just something like, you, that's a period, we're not going to talk about that. When I think it should definitely be normalized. As more GMOs are added into food, we are starting to see girls starting their periods and their menstrual cycles at very early stages in their life. So it's very, very important that these young ladies have access to these products without there being a hard-hitting tax on top of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, so the measure specifically defines products such as tampons, panty liners, menstrual cups, sanitary napkins, and other tangible personal property designed for feminine hygiene in connection with the human menstrual cycle. And I think you, Elisha, yourself, you just made a very valid point. As I glanced at my notes off to the side, that you haven't even seen, but the executive director of Period Equity, Laura Strasfield, you know, she said herself, next steps include making period products free in schools, prisons, and shelters. So basically, which goes directly with what you and I are saying, is having these items not only not have a tax or not be taxed, but also to have these items available when people need them, because it's not an option. It's not a choice. It's a necessity.
Completely agreed. Completely agreed.
And believe it or not, out of all of our states here in the United States, Michigan is joining 22 other states that have removed the tax. So,
That's great.
like I said previously, when we were talking about the reparations, it's a step in the right direction, but what follows is what truly matters, in my opinion.
Exactly. So
All
hopefully
right.
we will see more girls' bathrooms stocked with products that are available for them to use. That would be the real, you know, the real evidence, the real proof that this tax ban is actually going to be effective or not.
Couldn't agree more. Also, here in the state of Michigan, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson announced on Tuesday that Michigan will soon offer driver's license and identification cards with a non-binary gender marker of the letter X, which
Wow.
is huge here. They've been fighting for so long within the LGBTQ plus community. For those of you that may not know or may not be familiar with the LGBTQ community, I am going to break it down for you guys a little bit. Because, you know, there's so many different terms and different types and things that people identify with within the community that it's very easily to get confused or to lack the understanding or knowledge of what some type of terms mean. So for those of you that don't know, non-binary means relating to or being a person who identifies with or expresses a gender identity that is neither entirely male or female. So people who identify as non-binary, beginning I think next week, they can officially go get that identification marker changed on their state IDs, their driver's license. You know, it's an accomplishment.
Yes, congratulations to them. I know that this is a huge step in progression as far as being identified as who you truly are and representing yourself. So
And
kudos to them. I can just imagine. I hope everybody's celebrating and gets. I hope everybody gets martinis tonight.
yes,
Margaritas.
martinis, margaritas. Yes, yes, yes. And I think I want to point out a quote from the Secretary of State here in Michigan, Jocelyn Benson. She said, I am proud to support Michiganders across the state who for many years have called on the Department of State to provide a non-binary sex marker on their ID that matches their lived reality. Couldn't have said it better myself.
That
I'm
sounds
celebrating.
great.
I'm
Yes,
celebrating.
that's great. Oh yeah. So let the celebrating commence.
Yes, yes. Okay, so moving on to our next topic, which actually is from Ohio. The Ohio governor, he just recently signed a bill requiring any student entering ninth grade on or after January 2022 to pass a financial literacy program as an elective math class. So, Alicia, I know I'm not sure for you, but for me in high school, I took an economics class. I want to say I took a personal finance class. And I think it's so important that we educate our children and students as far as like taxes and interest rates and loans. Because if you walk out of high school and don't know what any of these terms mean, I'm going to tell you, you're going to get hit with that garnishment real fast. And you're going
Very
to be
quickly.
like, what's a garnishment?
Yeah.
Credit report? I don't even know what my credit score is supposed to be.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Let's not get into the fact that at a young age you can easily get caught up paying payments that have like 18% interest rates on them, and it's just like, who knows, who would know at that young of an age that that's actually it's not the way. So I think that that's great that they're bringing those classes back. I did myself take an economics class when I was in high school, but I think it could have been a little bit more thorough. I would hope to see that in Michigan schools soon. I know you said it was for Ohio, but I can't wait to see that for here in Michigan, to get those kids knowledgeable on checks and balances, checkbooks, finances, credit. Oh my gosh, it's important. I think that kids as young as about 15 and 16, once they're able to start working, because I think that's about the age where you can start legally working with a work permit and consent, with parents and everything like that. I think that as soon as you're able to start working, about 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there, those types of classes should be introduced, because at that age, at that young of an age, you can do all kinds of things to, start building on your credit at that time. And I think it would be very beneficial, and it would be very, I don't want to say resourceful, but I just think that there would be a great turnaround within economic class if we see more people at a younger age being educated on things that even 40 and 50-year-old people are struggling with today. Financial illiteracy is not something that should be praised within this country. We're supposed to be the home of the free. We're supposed to be the country that everybody wants to live in, and yet we have so many young adults that are struggling already just because they don't have any knowledge on how to get ahead of the game. So I think that that's important, that we hurry up and get those installed in Michigan schools ASAP.
Absolutely. So currently back home, bringing it back home from Ohio to Michigan. According to the according to the Michigan high school graduation requirements, Michigan students currently do need 4 credits of math, and that can range from it varies based on the district, the school district. But in order to meet those requirements, such as different math courses, so it does include a personal finance course currently, which involves math applications and a focus on financial planning. But I would also agree with you. I think, my district where I went to high school, they condensed it, and I feel like it should have been expanded. Mind you, I wasn't the best student, but I can tell you, like speaking from experience, just paid off my first student loans debt, about to go back to school in the fall at Wayne State, hopefully. So I can definitely tell you to be mindful of your finances and pay attention to legal documents, because you miss a court date because you don't want to go to that court date to pay your debt. It's gonna be a toll that you pay. So I think that my district should expand their teachings of financial life. That way you get out of high school and you're not completely clueless as to when it comes to your finances. That's just personally though.
Oh, I agree. I definitely agree. There's things that we take loans out in our name, and then we don't realize when it does go into collections, when we go to try to take out another loan, or we're ready to put a payment on a car, and we're not able to get these lines of credit, or we're not able to get these loans, and it's because, oh, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I made a mistake and I didn't know anything about it, and here I am 3, 4 years later trying to make up and pay back, and wipe clean a slate that I didn't even know I had.
It'll hit you and you'll be
Every
like,
time.
damn, what did I do?
Right.
Yes. So let's switch things up. We got kind of our heavy hitter opinionated topics down. So let's open the floor to some entertainment, a little bit of drama in the music industry.
I know it.
What's going on?
I know it. I think everybody's just and full of anxiety, and I think that there's just a lot of inner feelings that are being projected right now. I know that there's a topic that you want to get going with, as far as the scandal between Kanye and Big Sean, so I'm going to let you get right into it.
Absolutely, yes. So Kanye just recently did an interview with Nor, I believe. And basically, he sat down to talk with Kanye, and they talked a little bit about GOOD music. And the question that was asked, I think we still have Elisha on. I'm going to give it a second. It looks like it's buffering. Elisha? All right, I'm going to check my settings really quick, you guys. All right, so I think we lost Elisha, but we're going to get Elisha back on the live momentarily. So I hope everybody is having a good Friday. It's the weekend. Let me try and get Elisha back on here. Okay, we have Sip and C on. Sip and C, let me know if you want to join us on the live. We got a minute to chat, so I'm going to see where Elisha is. I think we lost her. It's all right. All right. Gonna get it back on. All right. So I'm gonna get Elisha back on the live. Queasy, hey, is checking in. Hey, if you guys want to join us on the live to talk about any of the topics that we discussed today, just let me know. I'm gonna grab Elisha. Hopefully we can get Elisha back on here. Let's see. Okay. Where's Elisha? Oh no. All right, so hopefully everybody is having a good Friday. Yes, Margarita. All right, I'm going to see if we can get Sip and C on here. In the meantime, Elisha Cartier is unable to join. All right, so we're going to try and get Elisha back on here. So I appreciate your guys' patience. Sip and C, thank you for checking in. If you want to join, all right, we're going to get Elisha back on here. I think Elisha is right here. Oh, did I accept it? All right. I'm hitting it. Okay,
My
hey.
phone died. I am so sorry.
Not the phone died.
It definitely did.
I'm like, I can only stall for so long. I don't know what's going on.
Look, and I was so mad because you were talking about Kanye did the interview, and then you were like Nore, and I'm like Nore, it's
Oh,
Nore.
it's Nore. Okay, see, Nore. Okay, yeah. So back to the
I'm
topic.
so sorry.
No, you're so good. You're so good. Hey, it's the devil trying to work against us. We finally got this down. It wouldn't be a show without a little bit of challenge, technical
That part, a little
difficulties.
technical
Okay.
difficulty.
All right. Hey, your boy Slick checking in. If y'all want to join us and talk, we're gonna open the floor to our viewers a little later if anybody wants to join before we wrap up. So yeah, Kanye did an interview with who was it, Elisha?
Nore.
And basically the question was asked regarding in regards to Pusha T and Big Sean. For those of you that don't know, Big Sean just recently, not too long ago, parted ways with Kanye's record label. Backstory: Big Sean was going to Hot 107.5. He was performing at the Friday Night Cyphers, and Kanye was there one night. And Big Sean was like, "This is my EP. Like, this is my music. Check me out." And then Kanye later signed him. Y'all know, big Sean supporter here. So yeah, when Nore asked him about Big Sean and Pusha T, Kanye said, "Oh, I love this. Let me tell you." Ye got up from his seat. He grabbed like a fake imitation tombstone, and it said, "Rest in peace." And Ye had said, "I already decided that when I die, on my tombstone, it's gonna say, I deserve to be here because I signed Big Sean." Alicia?
I think Kanye is just, Kanye's getting ready to, I'm not sure if their divorce is actually official or not, but, him and Kim are going through the divorce there. That has been confirmed within different sources in the media that Kim and Kanye are going to go ahead and get divorced. They've been sleeping in separate homes, according to some of the song lyrics from his new album that just dropped this year, Donda. So I think Kanye just has some personal issues that he's going through, and I feel like he's just kind of projecting his feelings onto younger artists. We all have to start from somewhere, and I just think that it's super important for Kanye to remember that it's important to pay homage to our younger artists as well, because Big Sean does a lot of writing for like Drake and other big artists. So I think that Big Sean is definitely slept on. The Detroit native definitely deserves his flowers, just as Kanye once did when he entered the game. When Kanye West first started being more present on the music scene, some people did try to diss him, but there was a lot of heavy hitters that did end up picking him up and working with him that are and like T-Pain, and that's a large reason of why he's still relevant to this day. I feel like there's a lot of artists that help carry Kanye for sure. So I think that he needs to be giving his props to Kanye to Big Sean, because little do people know, Big Sean actually gives back to his community. You don't really hear too much about Yeezy doing anything for Chicago, but Big Sean is definitely here every year showing out for our youth, giving back coats in the wintertime and doing all kinds of great stuff for our community. So we love Big Sean here. We don't have nothing bad to say about Big Sean over here.
Hey, let me tell you guys, Big Sean's hustle just to continue the flowers and the accolades towards Big Sean. If you ask me who inspires me, Big Sean. Not because I want to be a rapper, not because I want to be the next music artist from Detroit, but Big Sean being somebody that grew up. He's not originally from Detroit. Moved to Detroit at an early age. Him and his mom, Myra Anderson, they give back so much to the community. Down weekends every year, giving kids school supplies, putting on concerts and different events in the city every year. Their charity, the Sean Anderson Foundation, like the list goes on. And like that's why when somebody says like, you mentioned some Detroit artists that were born and raised here, cough cough Eminem, cough cough Kid Rock.
Yeah, Kid Rock's a big one for sure.
Get the hell out of here.
For sure.
You got somebody that moved from a different state, grew up and raised in Detroit, not born and raised,
right?
But puts on, and no matter where he is, he represents the city hard.
I even think Lizzo was originally from Detroit, but moved to like Texas or something like that at an early age. But I don't think Lizzo acknowledges her Detroit roots at all.
I don't think she acknowledges it per se. But I do know that during the beginning of the pandemic, she did give back to local hospital workers and nurses here in the city.
I remember that she sent lunch to everybody.
Yes. So
That was awesome.
I do think that that's a whole different topic that we can dive
Yeah, for
into
sure.
maybe on a future episode. But I think to me, Big Sean puts on for the city.
Of course.
Detroit is Big Sean, and even his response back to this whole current BS or drama with Kanye. Oh wait, I'm sorry. He's going by Ye now, right?
Yee.
Can we call him?
Yay.
We
All
can't even
right,
call him.
if he sees this, he won't like sue us. We won't have like an invoice in the mail, will we?
I don't know. I don't know. But I recently just posted a status on Facebook and it got a lot of social media engagements on my personal page. But I had said that I spoke it like as if it was happening. So I said, I will interview Big Sean.
Oh,
I
seen that. That was great.
Hashtag manifestation. Big Sean's a strong believer in like the secret and speaking things into existence like myself. And I think I confused people because I think people think that we're interviewing Big Sean. So if you guys want to see Elisha and I interview Big Sean, go ahead and drop his Instagram handle in the comments. Send him this video because that is something that I would love to sit down with you and Big Sean and just have a real ass conversation, maybe over some drinks or something, and just do it, right?
Thanks.
Like y'all don't know, Ty and Elisha are here to stay. So Big Sean's response back to all of this was actually funny. He initially tweeted out some laugh emojis and was like, basically like funny thing. Because Ye had said that, is it Ye or Yee?
I don't know. Don't get me lying. It might be. I think it's Ye, but I don't know because it's like I think it's Yee.
We're gonna get sued. It's okay. It's okay. As long as if I cut my hair like Kanye just recently did to his, that's how you guys know that Tyler and Elisha got sued. But in the meantime, I'm gonna sip on my margarita and be cute. But yeah. So Big Sean tweeted the little laugh emojis, and then Big Sean even had mentioned that like funny thing is, him and Hit Boy and Kanye, they were just all together recently.
Wow.
And Sean said, I was just with this man. He ain't say none of that. And this was just after the interview. Also, Big Sean also mentioned that he was also asked to be the next guest on Drink Champs.
Wow.
So is this
Did Big Sean just drop an album? Did you see the cover?
Yes.
When he's covered in all the bees. So I think that might be where like the negativity is like coming from, because it's like, how are you gonna be mad because somebody dropped an album? Where are you coming from with all this negativity?
Yes, Big Sean actually did just release an EP with Hit Boy. So all those songs. It's called the EP is called What You Expect.
Okay.
So be sure to check that out.
For sure.
Babyface Ray, 42 Doug, Bryson Tiller, Little Durk, Hit Boy. Yes, but I was like, I saw that picture. I was like, Big Sean's visual team.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was great. I just want to add this really quick to our celebrity topic before we wrap up everything. Missy Elliott and Regina Hall officially got their stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Hey.
That is so awesome. I think that's awesome. I think it's a little long overdue. I think Missy Elliott definitely should have got her star a long time ago, but that's definitely something to be proud of. So I remembered that just now, so I just wanted to put that out there.
Alicia, I cannot believe it's already the closing of our first episode.
I know, we did so good.
I am so excited to see you in person and see the kids, and I'm excited for what's next. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I made a comment earlier that I want to address because what you guys are always going to get with me, and I can say the same for Alicia, is facts. If we ever state something incorrectly or miscommunicate something on the platform, we will correct ourselves. It's a learning experience, being up and coming influencers here in the city of Detroit. It's important that we are mindful of what we say, how we say it, and what information we're providing. So I always want to inform everybody that like the sole opinions of you and I. You guys are more than welcome to share your opinions with us by joining our live In
Exactly.
the
I was just getting ready to say that we're encouraging, like, we're trying to dedicate our last 5 minutes of our segment to inviting you guys to hear your opinions and your feedback, because I think an open line of communication with our viewers is so important for us as hosts and co-hosts to be able to grow and evolve and keep giving you the things that you want and need to hear as a community. So just let us know. Don't be afraid to chime in. Don't sit in the comment section and just say or type, get on live. We want to hear from you.
Absolutely. Send us a tweet, send us a Facebook message. Our DMs are always open. I want to, on that note, before we wrap up, I want to clarify something. I made a comment during the opener. I was talking about new beginnings. I was talking about new opportunities and progression. I do want to let everybody know that I previously hosted this show every Thursday with two people that were extremely close to me. We did this show all the time. And that being said, I want to address something because it was brought up to me during the live. And I don't want to bullshit nobody. One of my co-hosts chose to no longer be friends with me, which is fine. And that beef is its own thing. But I do want to clarify that JJ, who did co-host this show with us every week, previously before Elisha and I starting, um, my comment was not made towards him. JJ actually chose to step away from Ty's Take today to pursue his own vision. You guys can check out his show on YouTube, the Tea on Thursdays. There's episodes on his YouTube channel. You guys can check it out. But I do want to end the show in closing with that and let you guys know that there's no drama, there's no messiness between JJ and I. We still follow each other. I still watch his shows. Go check his show out on YouTube. But I just wanted to clarify that because the comment that I made wasn't about ending a friendship with both of those people. It was about one person in particular. So I clarify that. I hope JJ is doing well. He was in here watching the show earlier. I just wanted to make sure that that is very clear with everybody.
For sure. Well said. Thank you for clarifying and being
Um,
transparent. I think that that's important.
Absolutely, absolutely, Elisha. We have to wrap this up though. That way, Instagram allows us to save our first episode. Because I'll be
Okay.
damned if we can't save it.
Well,
But
thank you. FaceTime me really quick and we'll bye. Thank you so much. Thanks for the feedback, Sip and See. That means a lot. He said, bye, guys. Love your live. We'll be back
yes,
next Friday, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Thank you so much.
absolutely. Thank you so much, Elisha, for joining me. Thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back right here on Instagram TV at 5 p.m. on Friday. Have a safe weekend, everybody.